boy. Press the goddamn button.
It's one thing to go to jail for something that you actually did. It's another thing to go to jail because of something someone else put on you. These are the type of humans that I absolutely cannot stand because they feel untouchable, and that it can continuously be so irresponsible with their emotions and feelings that they will literally put you behind bars or put you in a situation to take you away from your family, all because of spite, which you're about to see here in this video. This brother shared his story about being falsely accused of SA and how it ended up working out to his benefit.
Yeah, so those 9 months that I was in jail, that probably was the hardest 9 months I ever did in my life, because you got to look at it like this. You don't know the outcome. You know what you're in there for, but you're not sure if you're ever going to make it out. There was a point, I want to say 4 or 5 months into that 9 months that I was in there, bro, I was a wreck. I wasn't eating. I wasn't doing nothing, man. You could not have told me that I was getting out. And, you know, as I'm talking to my cellie about my case, you know, describing to him, like, I told this nigga everything. Like, he was like, yeah, man, you up out of here. But hearing that, I didn't care, because it didn't matter, because I was like, yeah, just because you think I'm not guilty, don't mean these people don't. Like, and so I got into about 14 fights. Word spread, but it got conflicted. Like, you ever play that game? You tell somebody a secret, and by the time they get to you, it's different. It went from I essayed the senior citizen, then it was my aunt, then it was underage kids. Like, the first 4 months, every time I met somebody from a different pod, we wound up fighting. And so I was in a hole for about 45 days out of that whole 9 months just from fighting. And so, yeah, that shit was tough, man, because like I said, I didn't know if I was getting out or not. And the only thing that I had to lean on was the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, was the truth. Like, I cannot describe the feeling of being in there for something you know for a fact you didn't do. Like, I don't have to take nothing from no woman, bro. I'm not bad looking. I'm 6'5", and I got a little swag to me, so I don't have to take shit from nobody.
Never understood why people continuously end up going back and forth. It's like somebody in the comments said, them dudes really just gay. Y'all like being around other men because to sacrifice your freedom in general just because you harbor feelings towards somebody that you don't know how to deal with in a healthy way. It's crazy to me. And then on top of that, like, you're voluntarily saying, I'm going to commit a crime and I don't want to be held accountable for it, so I'm going to evade the law and then get upset that I get caught. But you put yourself in this position where he's describing, but he's just like, well, shit, I don't even supposed to be in here anyway, but I still gotta go through the same hell that you're voluntarily putting yourself in. It's fucking crazy.
You know what I mean? And for the people that keep talking about the polygraph, I know you cannot use it in court, but I still wanted to take it just to prove to them that I'm not being dishonest about anything. And it's a reason why they never gave me one. The woman, the police officer that coerced the witness to come forward with this with the allegations, she came to visit me. She came to visit me and she told me she was going to do everything in her power to make sure I spent the rest of my life in prison. Why? Because 2 years prior, when I was out there being a cancer to my own community, she tried to arrest me and I hit feet on her ass, smoked her, right? And like I said, I had a reputation around town with these police. They didn't like me. So the first chance she got, that's what she did. I've seen that police officer after that. And every time I see her, I let her know, I'm still here, bitch. I'm still here. And so, yeah. And then another thing too, after I got out of jail for 3 years, I didn't talk to a single fucking woman. I didn't trust them.
Let me stop it real quick because I gotta be unbiased here. So you were pretty much a problem. You were a part of the stereotypes, wrecking homes, putting poison out there, but you were getting away with it. This person was trying to do their job. You avoided the law. They conjured up another idea and put you behind bars. Let's get this out of the way. Karma is a bitch. I don't agree with what she did and how she went about it. But my guy, you deserve to be in prison. For this crime? No. But for everything that you got away with, absolutely. You definitely should have been sitting down. And I don't even know what your life was like prior. Maybe you never had this on your jacket. Maybe you've never touched on women. Cool. But what about the rest of the bullshit that you was on? You were getting away with, just like many other men and women are getting away with that same shit. You absolutely deserve to be behind bars, but not for that. I will give you that. That's foul. Nobody deserves that.
I didn't trust him. Did not trust him. It took a long time. It took about 7, 8 years for me to get over that shit. You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, I was ashamed to tell anybody. The first person that I ever opened up to it was my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Here's another thing. Why wasn't it hard for you to feel bad about the shit that you was doing out in the community? Why you ain't feel bad about that? Why you ain't have trust issues with that? You developed the conscience after you got framed and set up and you had to sit down when you ain't have nowhere to go, but you had to stay and face all of your demons in the, like right here. God will humble all of us in our own ways. I just thought that was interesting how, we come to these epiphanies afterwards, but we never consider them before when we're out here doing the damage that we're doing.
That's the first person that I ever verbally came out and said what happened to me. But for a while, bro, it was a lot of shame, man. I was ashamed of that shit because you know how it is. When in a person's mind, when you say you did that or you went through that, and you came out on top. In the back of people's mind, they're saying, oh, well, yeah, you got found not guilty, but that doesn't mean you didn't do anything. Right? I had an ex whose boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend was a CO. And when he seen me, saying, he hit her with the, he was in there for blah, 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 blah. That relationship ended. So like I said, man, it took a long time for me to get over that shit. And this is why I get on this app advocating for the average man, because I know the average man, we go through so much shit. The justice system is made and is catered to women. As a man, if I call the police and say a person did something to me, nobody's going to jail behind that. But if a woman gets on the phone and says so-and-so touched me inappropriately, your ass is going to jail, bro.
I agree wholeheartedly, and trust me, I understand it. The thing that I find interesting is I originally thought that this was just him being a good Samaritan out here, just living this life, and then he just got screwed over. Nah, my nigga, you was out here doing dirt, and someone else who is doing dirt was in full alignment with you. That's usually how that shit works. Sometimes the good guy just get the short end of the stick. That wasn't the case with this. But I will say the system is against men more so than they are women. I think we've all pretty much established that point. I would have liked to have heard more accountability on your behalf, though. But I'm not against you with that. I do see your point.
Your ass is going to jail. That has to change. I wish that if a woman lies on you like that, and it's found out that it's not true, she should get, if not all, of partial of what I was going to get. So I was facing 40. That bitch should have got 20 years in prison for what she did to me. And yeah, it's like I said, man, it took a long time for me to get over that shit. This happened almost 13 years ago. So for the first 3 years, I didn't talk to nobody. I did not deal with women at all. I was strictly to myself. It took me a long time to trust women, and I did, which is why I'm married now. You know what I mean? But so yeah, that's that, man.
I appreciate you for sharing it. For those of you that do watch this back, and I'm glad I did it this way, is so that we see different perspectives on this. You got the guy who was doing his dirt, speaking on injustices while also being a part of the injustices that are being committed in the first place, versus the world of women where their privileges and their ability to get by and do things to people without any recourse is parallel to the karma that's met with one side versus ignored on the other side. Yeah, it's a lot of contradictions within this whole video, but the testimony is still legit nonetheless. Did y'all see it one way, or did you see all areas here? Because the justice system is crooked. She was crooked, but he was crooked to me as well. But everything seemed to have all fell into alignment for me. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Hey, this is Pilot Pusha talking. We going back to Memphis and coming straight from New Orleans. The estimated time of arrival is about an hour, and I can turn your ghost if you try and play with my power. So when you look up and see the sun flashing, stay in your seat. If the flight attendant say you making trouble, then we got beef. The turbulence might get rocky. You better not spill your food. This is getting plain if you get it messy.